Research is telling us that the closer that we get to urban areas, the more of the rubbish that we actually see in our environment and on our beaches comes from our catchments. The Let's Drain the Drains project was a way to actually have a look at where that litter was coming from within the catchment, and by putting in drain buddies across different council areas and different land use types, we're able to really pinpoint exactly where these items are originating from.
We are a council that are on the coast. Litter is an ongoing problem in urban areas. It's really important that we do everything we can to keep our bay clean.
A lot of the data that we've seen through the Australian Marine Debris Initiative database has been focused on what's actually escaped from our catchments and then what's washed back up on our beaches. But by going further upstream through our stormwater system, we're able to then have a really good idea at what parts of our community and what parts of the catchment are releasing certain items. Through each council, we've identified 5 locations in 4 different land use types to install these drain buddies. So we've got 5 traps in public transport areas, in supermarket or shopping centres, in a CBD environment, and also in an industrial area. So when we start to analyse this data, we'll actually be able to look not only at different councils, but also across different land use areas to really get a good understanding of where these inputs of different types of litter comes from.
So the stormwater is largely unprotected, unfiltered. By installing drain buddies into the stormwater drains, it actually allows us to filter out the litter, organic matter, to prevent that from entering the bay. So for this project, every 6 weeks we will come through and service those drain buddies, and then that material will be collected and stored into individual bags, and then that'll be brought over to be able to analyse at these community events.
When we look at data coming through on the marine debris and the litter issue, one of the gaps that we had was actually looking at council infrastructure. And that's because council is able to put in infrastructure and empty it, but there's very little time and opportunity to collect detailed data of actually what it's capturing. Through the Let's Drain the Drain project, we're able to work with those councils and bring together community and businesses to provide an opportunity to collect data that would never ever normally be captured.
From a state government perspective, getting a litter baseline data from this sort of work is critical. It will help inform future policy, it'll help inform future programs. The results that we're getting in already at this halfway point are phenomenal.
I'm here today because I want to work within my community with a diverse set of volunteers to find new ways to look at waste and waste streams that are coming across the bay, and understanding through those waste streams what is going to be the potential impact, not only on the bay, but also on water generally around the globe.
It's always fun. There's always jokes, there's always lunch, there's always fruit. I don't know, everyone's kind of rolls up, they don't expect anything, they're just there to help out. It always ends up a good time, and every set of hands is just fast tracking the information, and maybe we can cut the rubbish sooner.
We're lifting the magnifying glass and intervening at a stormwater trap system. We don't want to be reactive anymore, we want to be proactive and stop it before it reaches the bays. In a typical servicing cycle, we collect up to 3,000 cigarette butts, over 2,000 pieces of food packaging and 2,000 pieces of polystyrene foam.
We know that marine debris really affects our wildlife and our environment, but we also see the impacts now that it has on economies, on fisheries, on tourism, and even human health as it enters through our food chain. So by connecting the items that we're finding through the Let's Drain the Drain projects with everyday items that we as humans use, we're able to look at ways to transition away from some of those most common items that are actually being captured in the data set.
So the benefits are obviously the environmental benefit of we're not getting litter in the street, we're not getting litter going down our creeks and into the bay. There's also the economic arguments in that we're not having to clean up so much. So if we're stopping the litter from getting there in the first place, we don't need to go back and get it out of the drains, get it out of our traps, or fish it out of the waterways.
We can look at the distribution, we can look at the type, the quantity, That's really going to help us to inform where we go to the source of litter and how we put in place some reduction plans.
The sheer quality of the data that comes from a project like this is critical in helping decision makers use an evidence base to choose what we next do in terms of preventing litter from entering our bays.
To be able to work alongside Tangaroa Blue and collect this fantastic data set, I think it's just invaluable, and I think we're making some great ground for councils, government and the like to be able to make positive change for the future generations.
This project is so unique and I'm so proud to be working with it. It brings together state government, non-for-profit, business sector, local government and volunteers of the Victorian community all together to help reduce litter from entering our bays.
I think everyone who lives around Melbourne, we really appreciate Port Phillip Bay. We all really appreciate clean environments. We want to do the best we can to reduce plastic in particular, all kinds of litter. We want everybody at all levels of community to get involved. We want to be leaders in council and we want to take our community along with us.
I would certainly hope that that the impact will be that other councils join in, not only across the Bay, but that this model will be a blueprint for other councils.
The Let's Drain the Drain project has been a trial working with our 6 initial councils. We're really excited to see how they can expand on this project in the future, as well as for us to be able to connect with councils not only across Port Phillip Bay, but across Australia.